When's the last time that you experienced the feeling or the thought of I'm not good enough? Well, for me, it was this morning. That's why I'm inspired to have this conversation with you in this AM Flow with Hang today. We're going to talk about I'm not good enough and how to deal with it. And hopefully what I'm sharing with you today is going to be useful for you if you recently experiencing it or will experience it at some point. Because here's the thing, being human in this meat body, you are going to experience that moment of I am not good enough. Doesn't matter how much money you have, what status you have in the world, how much houses, how successful you are. There's going to be a moment you're going to feel that being human. And the question is, how are we moving through that? How are you talking yourself through that? So that's the conversation for today. And hopefully whatever I'm sharing with you is going to be useful, give you a whole new perspective to help you move through it more efficiently and quickly. Being a wholehearted high achievers, you're going to give your heart up, you're going to give everything you've got, and when life doesn't work out, it's going to bring this part of you out. The part of self-doubt, the part of fear, the part of insecurity, the part of self-worthiness, all of it is going to come out. And you may easily judge yourself. Those the ugly part. Sure, if you judge yourself as the ugly part, we bring those ugly part out so we can shift it and make it beautiful. How's that sound? So that's the conversation today. So before we dive in, let me share with you and take a sip of tea real quick. Today I'm drinking chai. It's nice. Give some caffeine. So, first thing first, my friend, everything that I'm sharing with you, more than likely, you've heard or practiced to some versions, and because it is the AM that you're listening to it, more than likely, it will land differently for you, as long as you allow the space for whatever come through me to come to you. So, being humans, I personally think that we all equal. As human beings, we all equal. You know, this is where they talk about consciousness, oneness, right? And that energy, the form of love, we all equal. There's no different. As human being, we all equal, whether you're the president of a company, president of the United States, you're a beggar on the street, you're a CEO, you're an employee. As human, we all equal. But as life, in physical life status, we're not equal. Because the CEO is different from the person who does managing, does maintenance, does janitor. As gymnasts, as athletes, we're not equal. Some are better than others. We are wired different. As coaches, we are not equal. Some of us are better. That's just the way it is. So if we can create that distinction, then you don't take it personally. So your self-worth is not dependent on how much money you make. Your self-worth is not depending on how much status, how much respect you have. Your self-worth is simply your essence, your sense as a human being. But the thing is, as human, we tend to associate our self-worth to certain things, right? So one of the things that I was sitting with this morning in the love framework, which some of you are familiar with, and I'm going to invite you to use the love framework to help yourself move through it, because this is what I did for myself this morning as a daily thing most of the time. Is this: let go of what was that contributing, that direct cause or indirect cause to make you feel that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. Whatever that happened in this life, and maybe past life, if you believe in that kind of stuff, there is an energetic thing. Now, in my world, you probably have done a lot of work. You know, you read the book, you went to the seminar, and you understand the power of positive affirmations, right? You can say that I'm good enough, but here's the thing, you can lie to yourself, but your system, if there's something that needs to be resolved, it's going to bring up, and it's important for you to create that space for the emotional truth to come out. And that's why the first letter of love is relevant. Let go of what was, whether it's the truth or not, but in your system is the truth. It could be that your system may be that I'm not good enough because this boyfriend or girlfriend just rejected me. I'm not good enough because mom, dad say certain thing. I'm not good enough because I'm not making enough money. So you, for some reason, you may consciously and unconsciously create all these parameters of what good enough should be. Who the heck determine what is good enough? We all make shit up. We all make all these boxes, narrative, and story. So I'm inviting you to explore what those story is, of what the emotional truth are. And it's important to acknowledge and process the emotional truth. Now, most of the time, the emotional truth and the actual truth are not the same. However, it's important to release the emotional truth to make space for you to connect to the truth. Because a lot of time, you may be very successful at running a company, right? Having a lot of money in a successful relationship, and something just happened in your life. Like some trigger, something just happened. It makes you question, I'm not good enough. Like you just lost a deal. Somebody just say no to you. Or you ask a girl on a date and she say no. So then it brings that piece out, and that could come back from childhood, whatever that was, or maybe past life stuff, whatever the energy was. There's an energy in your body that needs to let go, that believe that you are not good enough. So whatever that part is, I'm inviting you, instead of shut it off and act like, oh yeah, I'm cool, I'm good enough. You can mask that. At the same time, the emotional truth is still there. So why not set it free by letting go of what it is, by sitting with it, by relax, by let it come up, let it come through, and let it come out. That's what let go of what was is about. When you let go of what was is about, you can create space to go to the second letter of love, which is okay with what is. Okay with the situations. Okay that, for example, in the relationship, a lot of time I see my client in myself, right? When for some reason I'm not getting what I need, I'm like, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough for this person to love me. But the reality is I'm actually way past. The truth is always the opposite of the emotional truth. Is I'm good enough and that person is just not matching me. It's not the ego thing. It's just what is, right? And one of my own thing is I associate performance to my self-worth. And for whatever my own issues were, that I need love and acceptance. So my way of getting love and acceptance, for some reason I didn't feel that I was beautiful, good enough. So I made it up by become this champion so people can love and accept me. That's the bullshit that I made up for myself. So what kind of bullshit are you making up for yourself? That's the questions. And if you know it's bullshit, then you can create space to let go of the bullshit. Let go of what was that not good enough. So is that true that you have to make $1 million to be good enough? You have to have that many clients to be good enough? I was challenging one of my clients, I think maybe a few weeks ago. Because in his mind, like, hey, in my bank account, I have to have this much to feel good enough. I'm like, where do you get that from? So I'm going to ask you the same question. Where do you get it from? Because the state of feeling, it's inside. There's no amount of money outside can make you feel a certain way. Temporarily, we can create an illusion, but the reality is the state of being is how you connect it inside. I mean, just imagine you're in the situations. You have the lottery ticket, and imagine you have a lottery ticket. Somebody say, this is a winning ticket. As you don't have the money, but as if you believe this ticket is true. It's give you the sensation of winning the lottery, even though the lottery is not there. So the state of being is about the inside, right? An example, I'm kind of go off topic here, but just flow with me here. An example, take a piece of lemon out for me. If you haven't done this experience with some other teacher, or actually imagine you holding a piece of lemon. This is what I meant. Imagine you hold a piece of lemon, and imagine you take a bite of it. And imagine what can happen. I want you to connect to what happened to your saliva. What happened to that? Nothing happened. But that's how something that we can easily make up outside and give us the inner feeling and sensation inside. So whatever it is that you are feeling, the thought that make you feel not good enough, that can easily be shifted. That can easily be debunked if you're going to give yourself space and time to allow yourself to connect to that. So imagine this piece of paper, right, is have all these things saying I'm not good enough, all the reason, the emotional truth that you've been saying to yourself, your family been saying to you, your culture saying to you, or whatever the thing that you make up saying, I'm not good enough because I failed this, I'm not good enough, da da da. You make up all these stories. I didn't have enough money, I did da 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 da. And then now that you are a successful person, try to write, I am enough. Like, how easy is that seeing? It get distorted, and it get confused. But imagine if you let go of what was, all of these things on here, and then it's become a clean space, then you can connect to what is. Then when you say, I am enough, all the positive affirmation that you've been doing your whole life, it's actually going to stick, because it's the only thing that you plant. Because you take all the weed out, so you can plant this beautiful flower. So when you feel the discomfort, the emotional truth, instead of judging it, stuffing away, and then pretend it's not there and say, oh, no, now I have a beautiful garden, I'm going to write it, I'm good enough, da, da, da. You can master it. But these things will fight you. So it's really important for you to let go of what was, so you can connect with what is. And what is, for example, what is your self-worth, your state of being inside. It has nothing to do with your external world. That is the reality. What is that as a human being, you are perfect, you are good enough. And what is that as a CEO, maybe there's skill you can be improved on. As an athlete, sure, there's skill you can be improved on, but that doesn't connect to your self-worth. It simply connect to what is. And sometimes it is uncomfortable. And the temporary pain of discomfort, that's feed growth. That's a healthy growth. What is this? Is that I'm drinking this chai tea. It's no longer hot anymore. That just is. Is it good enough? That's the meaning I'm giving it. Are you with me so far? So it's important to let go of what was, so you can connect to what is. And once you connect to what is, you can connect to the reality of the situations. So for example, for me, to be able to connect to in my relationship, the truth is that person is not right for me. It's not because I'm not good enough. The truth is that person may not be enough for me. That person may not be able to give me what I need, and I want to be okay with that. The truth is, I am this brilliant coach who can do these things, and sometimes I make ridiculous parameter that if I don't do this, I'm not good enough. Do you know? Can you relate to that? Right? Then the truth is, my state of being, my worth as a human being, has nothing to do with how big of a house or I live in, or how much money I have, how many clients I have. Those are just skills. Those are just the game that we play in life. I could work with this person as much as I could work with the next person if I choose to. That's just simply the game of life. And my state of being has nothing to do with the external world. I could let it influence it, but it has nothing to do with that. So, and then V, so LOV, right, is venture into what will be, into the state of being, step into who you are, into I am, who are you? I am enough. I am enough as a human being. You reinforce the actual truth to your system, so your system can work with you instead of working against you. So you want your emotional truth to line up with what is, and your highest, truest state of being, and that's where the power is. And last is E, is experience. Give this body permission to experience each authentic moment as is. So in the moment that you temporarily feel that I'm not good enough, give yourself that grace and that space to allow the emotional truth to come up and come through you, instead of judging yourself, instead of stuffing it down and make it worse, to set it free so you can reinforce who you truly are and connect to the highest version of yourself, connect to the highest light of yourself, and be okay to be in the highest version of yourself, and be also okay in the lowest vibrational version of yourself, because you get to bring that up, to bring that through, to bring it out, so you can make it beautiful and choose who you want to be in this moment. Because who you choosing to be in this moment will determine how your future is going to go. So that is my take on I'm not good enough. what my invitation for you is, take this love framework and sit with it when you encounter that moment, or sit with it tomorrow and allow whatever energy that's stuck in your system to move through you. Let it go. Let the shit go. It's not true. And you can there's so many ways to do it, but right now this is my suggestion for you. Thank you so much for hanging with me and for flowing with me. Guys, if you feel this video is helpful and somebody could use it, please feel free to share that to the right human being that's authentic to you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and set on a notification, and we'll let you know when the next video come out at my next AM. All right. Appreciating you, hugging you from my heart to yours and from Hawaii to wherever you're in the world. All right. Talk soon.